We're counting down the top 5 scariest fantasy monsters that didn't just challenge the heroes, they gave the audience actual nightmares. Let's get straight to it. Number 5, the False Hydra. First up is a creature born from the darkest corners of the tabletop lore, and it might be the most psychological damaging monster on the list. The False Hydra is a massive, pale, multi-headed abomination that grows underground, but it doesn't just hide in the dirt, it hides in your mind. Ooh. See, the Hydra sings a constant, dissonant song. As long as you can hear that song, your brain literally edits the monster out of your reality. You could be looking directly at its bloated, human-like face as it eats your neighbor, and a second later, you'll have no memory that your neighbor or the monster ever existed. It creates gaps in a city's population, leaving behind empty houses and forgotten families. The horror isn't just that it's going to eat you, it's the realization that it's been standing behind you for weeks and you've been whistling along to its song the entire time. Number 4, the Botchling. Coming in at number 4, we move to the grim world of The Witcher. If you've played the games or read the books, you know that the Botchling is the definition of grotesque. This isn't a beast from another dimension, it's a creature born from the tragedy of an unwanted, unborn child that was never given a proper burial. Visually, it's a nightmare, a bloated, fetal-like scavenger with jagged teeth and a predatory instinct. It doesn't just kill, it stalks its victims, usually pregnant women, and drains their strength until they're too weak to defend themselves. What makes the Botchling so unsettling isn't just the design, but the atmosphere that surrounds it. It's a physical manifestation of guilt and grief crawling through the mud in the dead of night. It's a reminder that in fantasy, sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we create ourselves through our own failures. At number 3, we have the Shrike, a creature that blurs the line between dark fantasy and science fiction. Standing nearly 10 feet tall, the Shrike is a jagged, metallic nightmare covered in razor-sharp thorns and 4 arms that can slice through steel like paper. But it's not just a killing machine, it's a god of pain. The Shrike has the ability to manipulate time, appearing out of nowhere in a blur of chrome and blood. It doesn't just kill its victims, it takes them. It impales them on the Tree of Pain, a massive artificial structure made of thorns where victims are kept alive and screaming for eternity. The mystery of the Shrike is what makes it so chilling. You never truly know if it's a demon, a robot from the future, or an instrument of divine punishment. It is silent, unstoppable, and represents a level of suffering that goes far beyond a simple death. Our number 2 spot belongs to a masterpiece of creature design from Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. The Pale Man is a creature of pure atmosphere. He sits at the head of a banquet table, perfectly still, with sagging, pale skin draped over his skeletal frame. He doesn't have eyes in his head, instead, they sit on a plate in front of him. The tension in this scene is unbearable because of the rules. As long as you don't eat his food, he stays dormant. But the moment that rule is broken, he slowly slides those eyeballs into the slits in his palms and lifts his hands to his face to see you. His movement is twitchy, unnatural, and silent. He doesn't roar, he just shuffles towards you with those wide, staring eyes. He represents a predatory, ancient evil that feeds on the innocent, and he remains one of the most visually haunting figures in the history of cinema. Finally, at number 1, we have the gold standard of fantasy dread, the Nazgûl, or the Ringwraiths, from the Lord of the Rings. These aren't just monsters, they are the absence of life. Once great kings of men, they were corrupted by the rings of power until they became shadows, bound forever to the will of Sauron. What makes them the scariest is how they affect the world around them. They don't just hurt you, they radiate an aurora of the black breath, a crushing despair that makes seasoned warriors drop their swords in terror. Beneath their black cloaks, they have no faces, only a shimmering crown above an empty void. Ooh. And then there's the scream, that piercing, high-pitched shriek that feels like it's tearing through your soul. They are the ultimate stalkers. They never sleep, they never stop, and they can feel the presence of their prey across miles of wilderness. They are the personification of inevitable doom, and that is why they take our top spot. Tell me, which one of these monsters would you least want to encounter in a dark alley? Let me know in the comments if there's a creature I missed that still haunts your dreams. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the darker side of fantasy, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more lore and countdowns. Thanks for watching.